Hi guys and welcome back. Today we're back to talking about Giorgia Meloni, in particular the foreign policy of her executive. Since her inaugural speech to the Chamber of Deputies, the Prime Minister has been talking about a Mate plan for Africa and the Mediterranean, defining it as a virtuous model of collaboration and growth between the European Union and African nations, but also as the solution for the worrying spread of Islamic radicalism, especially in the sub-Saharan area. We would like to recover our strategic role in the Mediterranean after years in which it was preferred to retreat. But what does our Prime Minister mean with such a plan? The program takes its name from the historic president and founder of ENI, Enrico Mate, who between the 50s and 60s revolutionized the way in which European nations related to gas and oil extracting countries by popularizing more advantageous contractual terms for developing nations, transforming Italy, in a certain sense, into a fossil energy outlet that often clashed with the French and Americans in the acquisition of energy sources and in other geopolitical objectives. Meloni intends to expand the control and influence that Italy has over the Mare Nostrum for a number of reasons. First of all, there is the energy shortage. Following in Draghi's footsteps, Meloni went to Algeria and then to Libya, always with the current CEO of ENI, Claudio Descalzi, to consolidate the process of diversifying supplies towards a total elimination of Russian gas by 2025. Last year, Algeria became the first supplier of methane for Italy, reaching around 34% of the total mass imported, when in 2021 it was at 29%. Sonatrach, the Algerian state company that manages the country's fossil resources, had agreed with ENI to increase gas supplies from Algeria through the Transmed Enrico Mate pipeline, which brings Algerian methane to Italy up to the entry point on the national network in Mazzara del Vallo in Sicily. The pact envisages 4 billion cubic meters in 2022 and increasing volumes up to 6 billion cubic meters more between 2023 and 2024. Unfortunately, it would seem that these quotas have not yet been fully respected. In fact, the cubic meters received per year last year, they were under 3 billion cubic meters according to SNAM. But regardless, Descalzi predicts that the quantities of raw materials will grow exponentially over the years. Libya is another important source of methane for our country, but it does not excel in reliability. In recent years, in fact, less and less gas has arrived from Libya, as can be seen from the graph below. According to data from SNAM and the Ministry of the Environment and Energy Security processed by Today, it is in fact since 2015, with the exception of 2019, that less gas arrives in Italy from Libya than in the previous year. The first Italian-Libyan pacts regarding Cyrenaic gas date back to 2004, when Berlusconi was Prime Minister. At the time, the agreement spoke of 8 billion cubic meters of gas per year, but this quantity was guaranteed and exceeded only between 2007 and 2010. From then on, with sporadic peaks, gas from Libya has been further and further removed from the 8 billion threshold and has gradually decreased, as it has done in the last year. According to SNAM data processed by Today, 18.6% less gas arrived from Libya in 2022 than in 2021. In absolute values, 2.6 billion cubic meters in 2022 against 3.2 the previous year. Libya is by no means the most stable country ever, so these drops make sense, which is why Meloni intends to renew the agreements and invest in the security and protection of Abdul Hamid al-Dbeiba's government. During her last trip to Libya, the Prime Minister attended the signing of an agreement described as historic between ENI and the Libyan state company National Oil Corporation, NO. The agreement provides for an investment of around 7.3 billion euros for the exploitation of 2 fields off the Libyan coast from 2026. It is estimated that through the 2 fields, the country will be able to increase gas production to satisfy its domestic demand, but also to ensure exports to Italy and Europe. Giorgia Meloni therefore wants more gas from Libya by strengthening the Italian presence through ENI. Another reason for Melon's rapprochement with Libya is illegal immigration, which it intends to slow down by actively intervening in the area, even if it is not yet understood how. Gas from Libya arrives in Italy via the Green Stream pipeline, which connects the Libyan field of Melita to Gela in Sicily. From there, the gas is then fed into the national network. The Green Stream pipeline was inaugurated in 2004 by then Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi and Colonel Gaddafi. Azerbaijan is the other country to which the government is aiming to boost gas imports. In 2022, Italy imported more than 10 billion cubic meters of gas from Azerbaijan, an amount equal to 14% of total imports. The TAP, the Trans-Adriatic Pipeline, is the gas pipeline that transports Azeri gas to Italy to Melendugno in Puglia. At the moment, the TAP's capacity is around 10 billion cubic meters a year, but the government plans to double it by 2027. Within this year, we will free ourselves from Russia compared to the 40% they bought from Moscow in 2021 and by 16% recorded last year. From next year, we will also be able to supply other countries, and in a short time, we will become the European gas hub, also thanks to the doubling of the Azeri TAP, said the Minister of Enterprise Adolfo Urso during the mission in Baku, in Azerbaijan. As for the possibility that from 2024 Italy will be able to look at energy supply with greater tranquility, he adds, with the 2 regasification terminals in Piombino and Ravenna that will be installed before the summer, we will be free from Russia. They will produce 10 billion cubic meters of gas, exactly the ones imported from Moscow last year. However, this plan has its complications and puts Italy in a precarious position at the diplomatic level. Let's start with Algeria. The government currently in office is not a great democratic example, and there is the risk that by doing business with Ayman Ben Abderrahmani's executive, there is an even more internal authoritarian drift, or even worse, a conflict with Morocco in the sub-Saharan territory. Libya, on the other hand, is a risky investment given the civil war that has been going on for years there, and collaborating with the Libyan police forces to contain migrants is by no means the most humanitarian choice. Finally, Azerbaijan has recently been involved in an armed conflict with Armenia over the territories of Karabakh, but let's say that we have been their allies for years now, and relations with Armenia and Russia are already painful, so things will not change much. This foreign policy is also in stark contrast to that of Macron, who intends to keep North Africa within the French sphere of influence. Melanie cares little but then goes to complain when Macron doesn't want to speak to her at international events. I didn't find much about other countries such as Angola and the Republic of Congo, countries that Draghi had visited to buy more gas together with Singolani. I imagine they are in the Premier's plans, but we'll see. What do you think of the Mate plan? Can it work in your opinion? I think we will see the effects of these initiatives in several years. We just have to wait and see. There are many conflicting opinions and information on the effects of this foreign policy, which in any case is practically identical to Draghi's, only that Meloni gave him a very captivating name. The pacts with Libya on immigration won't even be such a revolutionary thing. Miniti was the first to make them in 2016, and let's say it didn't go very well. Some time ago, there was also talk of the possibility of reopening the wells in the Adriatic, but probably the extraction costs and the risk of pollution would not be worth it since they are very small wells. I will keep you updated. For those who haven't figured it out, I am not the one actually speaking. I am Hypernic voice made through artificial intelligence, and I wanted to see how many of you would catch on. Let me know in the comments. Have a great day.